Two more weaklings. Rather unsurprisingly. No, okay. I was just wondering if Karstag was maybe Chief Reekling, but I don't think they have the same sort of... I'm not sure if he's wearing a mask or if that's his head with the horns at the back of it. Have a quick look here. Again, where's Karstag? Oh no, his horns were at the front. Okay. I'm sure if... I'm sure at some stage we're going to find out, aren't we? Who or what Karstag was, seeing as this is the caverns beneath his castle. Alrighty, so we've got some open doors here, very welcoming, saying, "Come in, come through to your deaths, it's fine." Castle Karstag Courtyard, okay, we're making progress here. So we are now on the hunt, Brelyna, to find out who or what Karstag was. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Thankfully he can't get up here. Oh, but I took a blow anyway. I'm not seeing much of a castle. Is that the castle? Castle forced into the ice and rock. That's kind of cool. So we came out of there. There are some doors here. What's this? Goes back to Solstheim. No, we don't want that. That's back to where we came. So the only way is through here. Karstag's throne. Maybe we can put that skull on the throne. I don't know. Oh! 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 What's happening? Oh, what a gust of wind! Oh! Ah! I think we've unleashed hell upon earth! Jeez! Okay. That was pretty hellacious. One shot, boof. Okay, off we go again. Oh. Right. Well, we know what happens this time, don't we? So I'm going to save it. Here we go again. I'm out of here. See ya! No wind is taking me for a ride today, boys and girls. But Brelyna's going for a ride though. Where's my dragon hide? And dragon aspect for extra damage. Do you know who you're messing with, you big lug? I don't think you do. I don't think he cares. Save me, Brelyna! Don't just stand there gawking. Shoot, so you can move like the wind. I need some magicka. Lots of the stuff. Oof, I'm still alive. Don't know how. Don't care. I'm alive. Magicka. Thank you, please. Ancient Dragonborn. An ancient Dragonborn has come to my aid. And is now fighting with all his might. Come on! I've got him now! I've got him now! This great beast! Oh, I've got him to one knee! Ah! Summon Karstag added. I can summon that thing to my aid? No way. No way. Conjuration? Or is it a power? I reckon it's a power. Summon Karstag. Summons Karstag to fight for you for 2 minutes. You may only use this ability 3 times, and only while outdoors. 3 times. I wonder if when we fight Mirak, we'll be considered outside. This could be a blast. Okay. I think we've earned our rest today, Brelyna. What? Excuse me? What do you think you're doing? You know... Were you levitating there? You're gonna have to tell me how you did that. I feel a new spell being created in the future. Anyway, to Raven Rock. Okay. Well, Brelyna, we've just been handed another note by a courier there from good old Raylis. Let's take a quick peek, shall we? You're needed. Short and to the point. But, well, I am not at his beck and call. I've given him money into the excavation, cleared the place of Draugr numerous times. If he expects me to come running to his aid... and drop everything in the blink of an eye, he's sadly mistaken. So, we shall have a nice relaxing evening. We shall read some more of the Poison Song, sleep, rise in the morning, relatively early, after a nice hearty breakfast of course, then we might just potter down to Colbjorn Barrow, very nonchalantly, very casually, and see what Rallis is bumbling about this time. Anyway, come Brelyna, it's time for our usual ritual.
What do you need?
Do you need to ask? Sit down!
Okay, got it.
And tell me how you managed to levitate, for God's sake. It's bugging me. Okay.
Anything else?
Okay, she doesn't want to sit down, you see. Now she's, oh, fine, you don't sit, I will sit. Obviously you are overly excited about your experiences in that place. Maybe you didn't even know how you just levitated. Maybe it was something came over you, you were possessed, I don't know. But I shall get to the bottom of it. And when I do create a levitate spell in the future, do not worry. I shall give you the credit you deserve as being the first person to well, not master it, but at least unlock the secret. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get reading. We went to book 5, were we not? Or were we on book 6? I cannot remember. Yes, we have read this one. So yes, he washed up on the shore of his old house. He revealed all to Baynara. Then his sister came for him, that priestess woman who killed everybody in the castle, and took Tay away, or he'd gone somewhere. She gave him back his ring. Was it a ring? Or was it a bracelet? I can't remember. She gave him back whatever it was that that called to him, and he's gone. She disappeared. That's where we left it. So let's see what happens. Book 6, the penultimate book, we think, in the series, and things are hotting up. Starting on the first page here for a change. Very bizarre. Anyway, The Poison Song, Book 6 by Bristin Zell. The magnificent sprawl of the stronghold of Indoranian was aglow in the light of the setting sun. Commander Jasrut watched it slowly disappear into the horizon as he led the caravan southwestward. It was a strange practice for him to lead a night operation, but scarcely more bizarre than anything else he was facing. He was only 70 years of age, far from old for a Bosmer, and yet he felt like he belonged to another era. He had known the land of East Vardenfell his entire life. Every forest, every garden, every small village, and between Red Mountain and the Sea of Ghosts had been home to him. But now it was all different, twisted into a world he did not recognize since the eruption and the year of Sun's death. It made night travel all the more treacherous, but it was a risk he was ordered to take. The Ashmire appeared quite suddenly. If a sharp-sighted scout hadn't seen it and given the signal, the entire caravan might have been swallowed whole. Jasrut cursed. It had not been on the map, but that was hardly surprising. It was a huge, unnamed scathe stretching as far as anyone could see. The commander considered his options. He might lead his party to the southeast toward Teleroon, and then try and approach due west. As he consulted his map, he noticed a glimmer of a campfire in the distance. Accompanied by his lieutenants, Jasrut drove his guard forward to investigate what appeared to be an Ashlander man and woman. "This is no longer your realm," he bellowed. "Don't you know it's been ruled by the temple and these are house lands now?" The couple shuffled to their feet and began quietly walking away toward a narrow ridge between hill and Ashmire. Jasrut called them back. "Do you know a way around the scathe?" he asked. They nodded, their eyes still to the ground. Jasrut signalled to his caravan. "You will lead us then." It was a treacherous, winding crossing, almost too tight for the guards. The wagons themselves scraped as the drivers pulled to avoid the Ashmire. The Ashlander man and woman whispered to one another as they led the caravan. "What are you mumbling about, Noir?" Jasrut hollered. The man did not turn around. "My sister and I were talking about the Dagoth rebellion, and she was guessing that you were bringing arms to the stronghold at Fallon Serrano, which is why you chose to cross the Ashmire rather than taking a road." "I might have known," Jasrut laughed. "You Ashlanders are so hopeful whenever you see signs of trouble in the houses and the temple. I hate to dampen your spirits, but what you're speaking of is hardly a rebellion, merely a few isolated incidents of unpleasantness. Tell your sister that." As they plodded onward, the narrow ridge began to taper even more. The Ashlanders found a low, jagged crevasse in the hills, a crack from a lava flow, even predating Sun's death. The caravan scored the rock walls as it moved through. Commander Jasrat, after 20 years of uncertainty in a land he did not understand, felt a twinge of his old instinct. This, he thought to himself, would be a fine place for an ambush. "Ashlander, how close are we?" he shouted. "We've arrived," Dagoth Tython replied, and gave the signal. The assault was over in mere minutes, as it had been calculated from the start. When the last body of the house guard had sunk beneath the ash mire, only then was the inventory of the caravan revealed. It was better than they had hoped, virtually everything the rebellion needed. Daedric swords, dozens of suits of armour, quivers of fine ebony bolts, and rations enough to last for weeks. "Go on ahead to the camp," Tython smiled at his sister. "I'll lead the caravan. We should be there within a few hours' time." Akra kissed him passionately and gave the sign of recall. In an instant she was back in her tent, exactly as she had left it. Humming the song, she removed the Ashlander rags and chose an appropriately diaphanous gown from her trunks. Precisely the sort of dress Tython would love seeing her in when he returned. "Murasa," she called to her servant, "summon the troops together. Tython and the others will be here very soon with all the weapons and rations we need." "Murasa can't hear you now," said a voice Akra hadn't heard in weeks. She turned, expertly removed every trace of surprise from her face. It was indeed Indiril Baynara, but not the quivering creature she had left behind at the massacre at Sandal House. This woman was an armoured warrior who spoke with mocking confidence. She wouldn't be able to summon the troops if she could. "You may have weapons and rations, Akra, but there's no one left to arm or feed." Dagoth Akra made the sign of recall, but nothing happened. "The moment we heard you banging around in the tent, my battle mages cast a diffusion of all magicka," Baynara smiled, opening the tent further to invite a dozen house soldiers in. "You won't be leaving." "If you think that my brother will walk into your trap, you underestimate his allegiance to the song," Akra sneered. "It tells him everything he needs to know. I have convinced him to no longer fight it, and let it lead him and us to our ultimate victory." "I've known him longer and better than you ever did," said Baynara coldly. "Now, I want to hear what the song is saying to you. I want to know where I can find Tay." "Tython, my lady," Akra corrected her. "He is no longer a slave to your house and the temple's lies. You can torture me all you wish, but I swear to you the next time you see him it will be because he wishes it, not you. And that will be your very last moment alive." "Don't you worry, Sergio," Baynara's Nightblade winked at her. "Everyone says they won't break under torture, but everyone always does." Baynara left the tent. It was all a part of warfare. She understood that. But there would be little relish in witnessing it. She could not even watch as the house soldiers disposed of the rebel corpses. She had hoped she would grow numb to the bloodshed after weeks of following Tython and Akra, massacre after massacre. It didn't matter to her that now the bodies were of all the enemies. Death was still death. She had only been in her tent for a few minutes when her Nightblade appeared. "Not so tough as she appeared, that one," he grinned. "In point of fact, all I had to do is ask her nice and point my dagger at her belly, and she was blubbering everything. Not too surprising, really. It's always the ones that talk big that crumble fast. I remember, way back a couple of years ago, before you was even born—" "Guaran, what did she say?" Baynara asked. "The song, whatever that is, told her brother that she got herself caught and not to return to camp," the Nightblade replied, only a trifle annoyed at having his fascinating story cut short. "He's got a half-dozen mer with him, and they're going to try to assassinate the fella that led the Indiril army in the war, General Indiril Trithith." "Uncle Trithith?" Baynara gasped. "Where is he stationed now?" "I'm not sure myself, Sergio. Do you want me to ask if she knows?" "I'll come with you," said Baynara. As they walked towards Akra's tent, cries of alarm sounded. The situation became abundantly clear even before they reached the site. 3 guards were dead, and the prisoner had escaped. "Interesting woman," said Guaran. "Weak heart, but a strong arm. Should we send word of a warning to General Indral Triffith? If we can find where he is in time, said Baynara. So, one book to go. So join me next time when we shall go back once again to Colbjorn Barrow to find out, hopefully, to find out that the word wall has been uncovered, the whole of the barrow has been unearthed, the relics are there for the taking, and we can all go home and don't have to pump any more of our money into this godforsaken excavation. That is the first thing we shall do. The second thing we shall do is that we shall then, more than likely, finally confront Miraak. Now is the time. And then, after we've done that, and hopefully come out victorious, we shall celebrate with one final story, the conclusion of the Poison Song. And that might just be it for Elwynn's time in Solstheim. So join me next time for all of that. See you soon.